Welcome to Phillip Island, Victoria in Australia. What a setting we have for this great sporting contest, the Little Penguin Sea to Dune race. Nervous moments always as they gather on the beach, the tension mounting, and away they go. There's the defending champion, wearing his familiar navy blue and white, great waddling style. Another pre-race favourite though, losing touch with the pack. Maybe that's why. A few too many fish in the day's feeding. There's a familiar face, Skip McIntyre, 8 times a champion back in the 90s, a very successful coach now, keeping a keen eye on proceedings. This the leading group, 1 or 2 still able to put on a show for the camera, others just ploughing straight over it. Some resorting to shortcuts. Sad that cheating has crept into this beautiful sport. The judges will have a look at that. But up at the front, the pace is relentless, closing in on those sand dunes that will offer a bed for the night. The fatigue starting to tell. Who's got the finishing kick up on the outside? What a turn of pace from that one, whichever one it is. No answer from the rest, and he takes victory. What a win. There we are, into the Burrow, building an extension with his winnings, and back tomorrow to try and defend his title here on Phillip Island.
And welcome back to another night of live Penguin TV. The Penguins just cannot wait for us this evening. They have already started crossing this little strip of beach tonight on this high tide, but it looks like they're a little bit confounded by a bit of this kind of erosion on the beach which is going on. So they've kind of gone up in this little channel over here. They have come up nice and early, although not quite as early as last night if you tuned into live Penguin TV yesterday. But normally the Penguins give us a little bit of a chance to introduce ourselves and what we're doing here tonight, but the Penguins have gone gung-ho here tonight, so we get Penguins right from the get-go. So you're getting your value for free money here tonight, everybody. So my name is Jordan. I'm a ranger here at Phillip Island Nature Parks here at the Penguin Parade, and tonight we're going to be watching these little penguins, the smallest species of penguins, making their way home across the beach and back to their burrows here on Phillip Island in Victoria, Australia. And tonight I'm also joined by the lovely Sue. Hello, Sue.
Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be back again. I'm so excited to see Jordan. I'm so excited to see the penguins.
Missed you too, Sue.
I've been here for ages. So it's really great to be back. So have a lovely night, everyone, watching the penguins. Get those guesses in and we'll see who perhaps will win the virtual chocolate.
Exactly.
tonight.
And what are you going to be doing this evening as well?
Reading through some questions.
Perfect.
And answering, we'll endeavour to answer some of your questions along the way as well. And I bet you have some beauties tonight.
Yeah, let's try and stump Sue and myself. So send through your questions on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you might be watching from. And Sue will be keeping an eagle eye on, what's going on? There's a swamp hen. Oh my goodness, there is chaos. Oh my gosh, this is a predatory bird. This is a raptor bird, everybody. Wow. Can everyone see this bird here?
Scare the penguins back to the
Ooh,
water.
I wonder, is this maybe some kind of falcon? Who's good with their...
landed.
Yeah. Is that a peregrine falcon?
Ooh, could be.
Oh my goodness, this is wild. This, I think, might even be a first on live Penguin TV, seeing a big raptor bird. You
Look, I confess I planned this whole thing.
Oh, thank you, Sue.
That's okay. I had a word to him today.
I'm sorry, I'm gobsmacked, everybody. This very rarely happens. Sometimes we might be lucky enough to, there might be some kind of Pacific gulls around, which is like the bigger version of the seagulls, which are, the silver gulls are the ones that are saying, mine, and want your chips and your popcorn. But this is a big raptor bird who would love to snack on a penguin, and you saw just how quickly those penguins dispersed. I thought what it might have been was a Cape Barren goose flapping its wings, because we've seen quite a bit of that happening and kind of scaring the penguins, but this is a first. I am so stoked. I wish you would turn around, beautiful birdie, to see so we can see your face. Wow, okay, so this is a perfect segue. While I might zoom out just a touch, and so if you can keep an eye in the comments, and if anyone's got really good bird ID skills, if they can have some guesses on what kind of bird that is. But if it's a peregrine falcon, that it's the fastest diving bird in the world, I believe. They dive at over 300 kilometers per hour. So what normally happens at around about this time of night, these kind of birds, these raptor birds, swamp harriers, sea eagles, Pacific gulls, peregrine falcons, they go to bed around about sunset, which means these little penguins can cross the open sandy beach without getting swooped down on. But obviously the penguins came a little bit early tonight, and of course when we went from our countdown screen to watching the penguins cross, I was like, oh my goodness, they've crossed early. So it looks like they've crossed a little bit too early, because this bird, this guy over here, is still out and about, probably thinking it's a little bit hungry and it may want to snack on a penguin. Now, while this is a big predatory bird, it doesn't look super huge to me. So I think, oh my gosh, where are you going? Where are you going? Oh no, the penguins are kind of like down here. Oh my goodness, what if something happens? Do we want to watch or not? I'm not sure. Oh, it looks like they're trying to sneak up this way. Interesting. I'm not sure where this bird has gone.
Oh, it's not going to give up.
It's definitely not giving up. So I would say that size predatory bird would normally go for like a chick maybe, or like a young penguin that might be sick or injured. Oh, there the penguins are washing up at the water's edge. But where has this bird gone? So do we have many guesses about what this bird might be?
Yeah, look, some are saying peregrine falcon.
Oh, it did look like it had the kind of white around its, yellow around its eyes, and it had greyish feathers. Oh, look at those penguins rafting up. Oh, I'm so invested. This is so interesting. I wonder if they're gonna try and cross. I wonder if it's still there, if it's I can't see it anymore. This is so wild, everybody, so interesting. So yeah, gosh, those penguins are pretty keen to get home. I wonder if they're going to be able to overwhelm this bird, which is it? Oh no, they're running back.
Julie suggested goshawk.
Goshawk? Oh yeah. Oh, is that a penguin that's flipped on its back? Oh my gosh. If this is your first time tuning into Live Penguin TV, it is not normally like this. I just want to put that out there. Usually we have a whole spiel and things typically run quite as planned, but not tonight as luck would have it. Now, of course, we're all here to watch penguins, and we know that they're hanging out here in the water, but we're gonna, when these penguins do think it's safe and clear to cross the beach, I think we might maybe start out 20 or 30 minutes from that point onwards. What do we think, Sue? Because this is, otherwise, like, I just don't know what's going to happen. And I'm really, I don't know about you guys, but I'm super keen just to watch. This is so fascinating. Again, sometimes we might have Pacific gulls hanging around a little bit later, but never have I seen a predatory bird like that be out here so late. So this is super duper interesting to me. So we know those penguins are kind of getting ready. They're at the water's edge, but I wonder if that bird is still hanging around. This is nuts. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm at a loss for words, and normally I can talk underwater, but I just, like you guys, I just really want to see what's going to happen.
Well, it hasn't taken off yet, has it? It's in the grass somewhere.
Yeah, well, oh no, hang on, there it is. I've spotted it again. Oh, it blends in really well with the rocks. Oh, okay, so if you have a look above me now, we've got a penguin going the opposite way. Oh, okay, and there's a penguin. Oh gosh. So the predatory bird is kind of next to that box. You can see his legs, and there's also a penguin nearby. Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Although I reckon the penguin's seen it. Sue and I are just like, oh.
And I think there's a shell critter coming down.
Yeah,
she doesn't know what's in store yet.
Oh. Whoa. You can see that this bird is really terrifying them. Now, this here is a natural predator. Oh, we're flying off. But are the penguins gonna run away? I think so. Maybe that predatory bird has left. Looking like it. What's that in the puddle?
Just flew off.
It just flew off. I think we've got this is a swamp hen hanging out over here. This is a friendly neighbour of the penguins, so you shouldn't have to worry about this bird tonight. All right, but it looks like the penguins they're going, yep, the coast is clear, let's go. Oh my goodness, drama here on Live Penguin TV. How wild. And all right, they are probably, because of this scare, they are, I reckon, going to be so keen to get home. They are going to want to get back to their burrows, into the safety of their burrows and the vegetation as quickly as possible after this. They will not be forgetting this incident in a hurry, but hopefully that predatory bird has gone off, and the penguins can get home in relative safety. But yeah, I should mention that bird that we just saw, it is a natural predator of the penguin, so it's not an introduced pest like a fox or a cat, which is detrimental to the colony and the survival of this species here on Phillip Island. But yeah, usually the penguins know that at sunset, those birds have gone to bed for the night, and it's safe to cross the beach. And these little penguins have blue feathers on their backs, which help them camouflage against the surface of the water, so that when birds like that are flying around during the day looking for a tasty penguin or something to munch on, they blend in really, really well with the water. And like we saw, when they cross the beach, they're highly visible. So, let's have a look at our penguin highway. They're really vulnerable to predation. As we can see, look how visible they are. So they want to make sure that it's dark when they start crossing the beach, because although they have some nice sharp little hooks on the edge of their, on the end of their beak, and they've got some nice sharp toenails, they ultimately are no match for that raptor bird. And it looks like they are trying to hug the side of this viewing area as much as they can. So probably still a little bit freaked out of anything that might potentially still be hanging around. What a wild opening to Live Penguin TV tonight, everybody. Wow. There's always something new happening, isn't there? Alrighty, so I've just flicked back to the main screen, and I was going to say maybe we do have a few shell gritters. I think we might actually. So some female penguins that have been at home during the day, and they're heading out towards the beach. It looks like we've just had another big group of, oh my goodness, look at them all. Oh my gosh, penguin stampede. I wonder if a lot of them were just hanging out in the ocean being like, nope, we're not going anywhere. There is too much danger. But if I zoom in a little bit on these guys, there's just going to be penguins occupying every single inch of this screen. Oh my gosh, look at them all. These are fantastic numbers, and every single night we do get different numbers of penguins crossing the beach, because these are seabirds. They spend about 80% of their lives out to sea, and the ocean is their supermarket, it's their playground. As soon as they come home, they're on a diet or they're fasting, so they only come home if they've got things to do or places to be, and that is just an absolute stampede of penguins. Now, you've probably also heard a little bit about something, well, when we refer to counting or how many penguins. So every single night, oh my gosh, look at them just coming up the highway. There's literally just penguins galore. Let's flick back. I don't know what to do with myself tonight, everyone. I'm so sorry. Oh, they are in such a rush. My goodness. Yeah, so we count penguins every single night here at the Penguin Parade, and we've been doing that since 1968. It's the longest running bird survey in Australia, and it helps us track how well the penguins are doing, throughout the decades, which is really, really cool. It can help us learn a little bit more about them and how we can best protect these little penguins as well. We're watching them coming home to their burrows here on Phillip Island on Malau, the traditional lands of the Bunurong, who have cared for this country over many, many thousands of years. So we've got as you can see, a very healthy penguin colony here. Oh, I thought I might have just seen something. A very healthy penguin colony, very scared penguin colony at the moment. I actually thought I just saw, some flippers, maybe. Some flapping of wings. I'm getting very distracted. So yes, sorry, I want to acknowledge the Bunurong as the traditional custodians of the land and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. We normally like to try and do our acknowledgements of country at the start of our live streams, but I'm very sorry. I just got insanely distracted here tonight. So do we have any interesting comments or observations?
We have a
Sue?
really interesting comment from JD.
JD, lovely. Hey, JD.
She suggested maybe the lack of visitors are making the predator birds feel a bit more keen to explore this area because there's not as many people to scare them.
Yeah.
Because it's so quiet.
Oh yeah, it's still there. Oh my gosh, there it is. Look.
A valid point there.
Absolutely.
That's the only thing that's different.
Yeah. Well, it's still hanging around, and it's almost like Goose Gate, but it's Predatory Bird Gate at the moment. It looks like all these penguins are wanting to go inside this box. Maybe, I don't know. Oh my goodness, it is literally all happening here tonight. If you were watching a few nights, I don't even know, probably a few weeks ago now, there was 2 nights in a row, I think, where there was a feral cat that was seen just on the live stream, which is insane because normally we don't see it. The feral cats are usually kept away by the noise and the hustle and bustle of the people who are visiting. So look, potentially, definitely not going to rule it out. It's not a definite, but usually by this time these predatory birds are well and truly in their bed because it's pretty dark outside at the moment, isn't it, Sue?
It's very dark.
These birds need the light to head back to their nests because they require the light to find their prey, but also to find their way home. And if they can't make their way home, they might be kind of stuck on land. They might be stuck kind of on the ground, which may make them more susceptible to other land-dwelling predators. So it's still here. How interesting. I've never ever seen a predatory bird here so late. So maybe it's really hungry, although it doesn't really seem to be attacking the penguins as such. It just kind of flaps its wings and every now and then makes a move. I don't know, because it's in a slightly darker area. I'll try and zoom in on it to see if we can get a better kind of ID. But so we've had some I reckon it looks like a peregrine falcon. Again, I'm not the best birder. I know a fair bit about penguins, but not so much about other species of bird. But I reckon my guess is a peregrine falcon, but I might have to have a little bit of a look in my bird ID book. But so cool. All right, I should probably go back to the penguins, and let's hope that this big bird over here is going to leave our feathered little friends alone. And instead of talking about predatory birds, I can talk to you more about penguins, but we'll keep kind of an eye on in this area to see what the penguins are thinking of this bird. Now, I also mentioned that throughout the we're looking up pictures of
falcon. Someone else suggested brown falcon.
Brown falcon? Sue's currently just looking up on her phone different predatory bird species of the ones that you guys are suggesting. This is so cool. Look, we're all learning. But yeah, I'll probably trust you guys at home. Oh my gosh, there's another massive waddle of penguins right at the water's edge. If you guys are watching from home on nice big screens, you can probably get a better look at it than I can, which is very cool. All right, so penguins, I'm going to jump back to penguins. Oh, and it looks like these guys, some of them are tumbling. Oh my gosh. So I want to say that penguins are very tough, very robust creatures. So we can see that some of them are very gracefully jumping down this this little cliff in the sand over here, and some of them do a little bit more of a tumble. But yeah, they're very, very tough, very sturdy little birds, so you don't have to worry about them hurting themselves. Yeah, they're made of some pretty tough stuff. But what these little birds are doing, they've been out in the ocean all day, maybe for a few days or a few weeks. And when they think it's safe to do so, and once all those predatory birds that are flying around during the day, once they usually go to bed at the right time, that's when they'll start crossing the beach. And it can take up to about 3 hours for all of the penguins to cross. The bravest, or the majority, usually come up in about the first 50 minutes, which is how long we count them for. And that reminds me, we got a little bit distracted because one of the things that our regular viewers of Live Penguin TV love to do is guess how many penguins there were the night before. So Sue has the magic number, and I believe we've been having some fairly close guesses, Sue.
Yeah, we had a pretty close guess of 1854, which was pretty amazing.
1,854 as a guess.
That's
Very
correct.
good.
But the total of last night's penguin count was 1,814.
1,814. That is a big number of penguins.
And judging by tonight's numbers, it could be higher.
Yeah, or if on par, if I agree, if not more. So we're in for another epic night, hopefully, of penguin crossing, and they will continue kind of coming into Summerland Bay, which is this kind of beach that we see here. And when they think it's safe, when they think it's dark enough, they will begin kind of charging towards the beach and start crossing when they think that it's safe to do so. And when they're out in the ocean, they're making kind of a little bit of a location call out. Let's flick over to the highway, shall we? Which is called a huck. And if this is your first time watching Live Penguin TV, you've probably seen a lot of people in the comments saying huck, 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 which is the way penguins. Oh, hang on, there's drama. Hang on, I found some drama. Look at everyone racing back. I wonder if our predatory bird is still hanging out. Did you see them all running back just now? I keep getting lost with what I'm saying. What was I talking about, Sue?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
I do have a question.
I would love a question.
I have a question from Toby, and Toby is 6.
Oh, so hey, Toby.
Toby wants to know if the predators camouflage themselves so that the penguins can't see them.
Oh, interesting question, Toby. Yep, there's our bigger feathered friend hanging out over there. So still hanging about. Well, normally these birds are, they're looking for their prey from above. So they're flying, they're cruising out in the air, and they'll swoop down on their prey from above, and they can be really, really quick. So they don't really have to camouflage themselves too well, because normally predators will be kind of looking out, you're usually looking at the ground, you're looking where you're going, and you're looking at your surroundings. But of course, some of the prey of these birds would know to look up every now and then, but these birds can dive so quickly. But yeah, look, I think the underside of predatory birds is a slightly lighter colour, so if you were looking kind of up at the sky, they might blend in a little bit better compared to their darker plumage, just like the penguins on their backs. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I can't really give you a yes or a no answer, Toby. Oh, they're definitely hanging around, but normally we don't see these predatory birds on the ground with their potential prey like this, which is really interesting, thinking because it is also unusual behaviour and this bird is still hanging around. Thinking because it's unusual behaviour, maybe the bird may not be too well. Animals kind of acting out of character for their normal behaviour can be a sign that maybe they're a little bit sick or injured, or something may not quite be right. Or potentially, like JD suggested, it might just be taking advantage of the lack of people, and it can have a little bit of a look around, but it really does not seem to be actively trying to eat any penguins. Lucky for the penguins and lucky for us here. Yeah, it doesn't look like this bird is going to be moving about too much. It definitely looks like it's going to hang around. So maybe this predatory bird, whatever species it may be, is sick of live penguin TV and sick of watching the penguins, and maybe it's just deciding that it wants a cameo. I'm not sure. Who knows? Oh, goodness. So, yeah, great question. Thank you, Toby. But, yeah, usually they're kind of swooping down on their prey from above rather than kind of sneaking up on it, if you think like a lion or a tiger or something like that, who use their fur as a bit of a camouflage. So these penguins that are hanging out on the rocks over here are looking pretty chill at the moment. They're having a bit of a rest. They are, there's some kind of swimming back. I wonder if we've had a little bit of a scare. It looks like we've got some very speedy penguins up on the Penguin Highway. Usually after the penguins cross the beach, some of them will stop along these rocks and kind of catch their breath. It's their chance to socialise, preen their feathers, make sure that their feathers are in alignment and kind of re-waterproofing themselves up after a long day, a couple of days or a couple of weeks out in the ocean. And yeah, sometimes when they're out at sea, usually they're foraging alone. So when they come home, it's their chance to socialise with other penguins, connect with their breeding partner. And they also need a little bit of help preening or cleaning and aligning the feathers on the top of their head, so they'll get some help from another penguin that's next to them. It might be a completely random stranger penguin, or it could be a breeding partner. It just depends if the two breeding partners are coming in at the same time, or if one's at the burrow. And if one's at the burrow and one's here, if you see any penguins preening themselves, I'm just going to try and zoom in and see if we can see any. No, it looks like everyone's looking after their own feathers here at the moment. But if you see one penguin kind of running its beak through the feathers of another penguin, chances are it's probably a complete stranger. And they're pretty altruistic, these penguins, aren't they? They don't mind who they help out at all. But yeah, they're doing some penguin yoga. They're getting any ticks or fleas that might be on them. And yeah, realigning their feathers because they can get a little bit ruffled when they're out in the ocean as well. But nice big jump from that penguin over there as well. All right, I might have a little bit of a scan and see if we can see any more penguins hanging out on the beach, getting ready to cross. And while we do that, might throw to another question. Yeah. What do we reckon, Sue?
Yeah, this one's an interesting one to do with our count. So, is our count the oldest count in the world?
Is this oldest count of penguins?
Of penguins, yeah, the oldest penguin count in the world.
Honestly, I can't answer.
I think possibly. We have been told that it is one of the longest
running continuous surveys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that the early explorers who went down to Antarctica and they first observed penguins in their natural habitat probably did some kind of bird or penguin survey down there, and if they might have observed them here on Phillip Island. When the first European settlers did, maybe even the Bunurong and the traditional owners of this land might have done the same thing here as well. But yeah, so this count that we do every single night here on Phillip Island, it's the longest running bird survey, continuous running bird survey in the world. So you look, potentially there might have been other surveys done in the past, but they're not still done today. Because sometimes things, you might begin monitoring something and then funding might run out or the interest might change. Unfortunately, in some cases, potentially the species may disappear from the area. And that's one of the things that we're really kind of onto here at Phillip Island Nature Parks, looking after the penguins here at the Penguin Parade. This is the largest colony of this species of penguins in the world. The little penguin, there's about 32,000 of them here on Phillip Island. And while they're really stable, they've been at about 32,000 for about 8 years now, since 2013. But back in the 80s and 90s, they weren't actually doing so well. The introduction of cats, dogs and foxes and the destruction of their habitat because of a housing estate that existed up in the penguin colony called the Summerland Estate was just a recipe for disaster for these little penguins, taking away their habitat, introducing feral animals that have a really strong instinct to kill and just kill in surplus because that's kind of their natural instinct, the instinct of cats and foxes. So yeah, it was a bit of having foxes and having people living here in the Summerland Peninsula. It wasn't good for the penguins. Thankfully, we are now fox-free here on Phillip Island, which is fantastic, not only for little penguins, but as well for a range of other small species. We've got the eastern bar bandicoot here on Phillip Island, lots of other small mammals and marsupials that we have, as well as small birds and reptiles and all kinds of things. So here at Phillip Island Nature Parks, we're a non-for-profit. Oh, there's a wallaby. Gosh, guys, I hope you're not scared by the wallaby. This little dude isn't. Oh no, are you gonna follow everybody? It looks like this wallaby here is having a bit of a sip and having a chat to this penguin, maybe. Having some fresh water here. So we don't have any kangaroos here on Phillip Island, just the swamp wallabies, slightly smaller cousin of a kangaroo, which is this one just here. But yeah, so we get most of our funds to protect penguins and enhance their habitat and other ecosystems here on Phillip Island through people coming and visiting us here at the Penguin Parade, the Koala Conservation Reserve, Churchill Island Heritage Farm, and the Nobby's Antarctic Journey. Of course, at the moment here in Victoria, we do have restrictions in place, so we can't have anyone visit us at any of our sites. So we are closed down here for the moment until it's safe to do so. We really hope that it's going to be safe enough and we can have all of you back here as soon as it is safe and possible to do so. But in the meantime, I hope you're enjoying Live Penguin TV, whether you're a regular Wattle watcher or a regular viewer of Live Penguin TV, or if this is your first time. Which reminds me, tonight was meant to be the last night that we were running Live Penguin TV, but we know that it's a really fun thing for our regular viewers, and it's really great watching penguins make their way home for people's mental health and for our mental health as well. So we are actually going to be continuing running Live Penguin TV for the next couple of weeks. We're not going to be doing it every single night. We are going to be running it on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from this point onwards. So you'll still be able to hang out with us on those nights and learn all things there is to know about penguins. My goodness, the penguins are so nervous tonight. Can we see that bird anywhere? No, I reckon everyone's probably just a little bit nervous here tonight, and you know what, I do not blame them. Oh, looks like we might have a penguin coming down the hill, maybe a potential shell gritter over there. Oh my goodness, I'm getting so distracted. What's new, everybody? And oh my gosh, it's 6:55. My God, I can talk. All right, let's head back to the beach, and we might have maybe one or two questions, and then probably soon-ish, I guess, we'll have to start wrapping up. But yeah, never fear, we are going to be continuing with Live Penguin TV. It's so much fun to be able to do. But yeah, instead of doing it every single night, we're going to keep you wanting more and have a little bit of a break between each night. So a break for the Rangers, a break for you guys, so that we're keeping it nice and fresh. And you guys at home are really keen to keep watching us here on Facebook or YouTube. We really appreciate all your love and support. We've got lots of very enthusiastic penguinologists in the comments, which is fantastic. So yeah, keep tuning in, same time, same place, around about 6:20 every night on Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday from this point onwards, and get your questions ready. Now, I know for me, it can be a little bit tricky for people to get a word in because I do tend to talk a fair bit. So if we don't get around to your questions at any point in any live stream, please let me know. I want you to know that we're not ignoring you. There are just so many questions that come through. And especially for people like me, as I said, it can be a little bit tricky to get a word in. So I'm going to stop talking now and maybe ask for one more question before we slowly wrap it up.
It's all about our beautiful raptor tonight.
Oh, okay.
So,
I'm not an expert in this.
No. So do you think it would eat a bandicoot?
Oh, I absolutely think that raptor bird might eat a bandicoot. So first of all, I should probably explain what a bandicoot is. Now, it's going to be, I wish right now a bandicoot would just appear on screen so that if you don't know what a bandicoot is or you've never seen one before, you could have a little bit of context. But here on Phillip Island, we're lucky enough to have a lovely population of the eastern barred bandicoot, which is a small marsupial, and a marsupial means it's got a pouch like a kangaroo, koala, wallaby, possum, where it raises its joeys. And they've got these bandicoots, they've got little stripes on their bottoms. They're only about 700 grams or so heavy. Might be a little bit more, a little bit less. I'm not quite sure on their exact weight. But they kind of look like maybe a cross between a rabbit and a rat, perhaps. And they got a kind of a pointy nose and a short little tail. And they used to be classified as extinct in the wild on mainland Australia, but through a lot of effort with zoos Victoria, Phillip Island Nature Parks, and I've gone blank on some of the other places, but a captive breeding program started because there's another group of penguins I can see, woohoo, getting ready to cross the beach. Because Phillip Island is fox free, we did have a population establish themselves here on the island and also on Churchill Island, and there's lots of they're on French Island now in some fenced reserves around Victoria.
On the other side of the city somewhere down in Seymour, I think.
Oh, yep, there you go. So, unfortunately, bandicoots, like penguins, were really susceptible to predation by foxes that nearly wiped them out. There was only about 42 individuals left in the wild. Otherwise they would have gone extinct, and now I think there's over 300 in this colony here on Phillip Island. So because these bandicoots are smaller than penguins, because unlike penguins, bandicoots don't have a sharp beak, sharp claws, and in my opinion, feisty personalities, I think if I was a raptor bird, I would much prefer to eat an eastern bar bandicoot than a penguin, because while these penguins may look really cute and cuddly, let me tell you, Sue knows, they are loud, they're smelly, they're really aggressive, but because they're wild animals, and we know this because if we ever have to pick up a sick or an injured penguin, or if it's in a dangerous location, like if it manages to sneak into a car park or on the road, we have to remove them. We have to, if they're sick or injured, take them to our wildlife hospital. So, they're very vicious little creatures.
I have been bitten by a penguin, and it's not fun.
It's not fun, absolutely. I've got quite a few scars on my arms created from these little birds, so don't let their cute little exterior fool you. They are little fierce beasties, and we wouldn't have it any other way, because that's how they help protect themselves, defend their territory, and their young as well. But bandicoots have a bit more of a flight response to danger. Haven't really seen them kind of try and fight. They might fight each other, or males might fight each other for territory, but a bandicoot doesn't have very sharp teeth, so I don't think it would be able to hold up very well against a falcon or whatever it was that we saw just right now.
Yeah, I think the general consensus is it's a goshawk.
A goshawk?
From someone that was pretty sure that's what it was. Some bird, someone that was knew what
a
they were
birdie?
talking about.
Yes. Well, I'm not super great with my bird owning, but I feel like goshawks can be quite elusive a little bit as well. So, it's pretty exciting that we even got to see it. So I don't know about you, but it's been a little bit of fun on Live Penguin TV. And like I said, it is different every night. This is probably more different than what it usually is, because normally these predatory birds aren't out and about at this time. It looks like the penguins have kind of calmed down a little bit and they're starting to move on. So I reckon it might mean that bird has flown off, or it could just be resting in the grass. I am not too sure at all. But thanks for all your questions, everybody. And this isn't normally how we run our live streams, but what we do is we talk about what we see here on the live stream. So if we see something fun or interesting, that's kind of what our live stream will be centered around for the evening. We had a little bit more drama, a little bit of raptor bird interaction tonight, which is very, very cool. Remember, if you want to learn a little bit more about the penguins and the things that we do here to protect these penguins, keep tuning in on Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays, because you'll be able to, learn more about these penguins and ask questions, and hopefully we'll be able to answer them live on the air. Hang on. What did I see? I reckon I've spotted a shell gritter, or two shell gritters. I was just looking kind of at the ground for little bits of shell and things to get some kind of calcium supplements, and that penguin was like, oi, keep away from me, you. But yeah, this is a sign of penguins going the opposite way. They're not lost, they're not confused. You can see them really looking at the ground over here. That means they have eggs developing inside them, and they'll probably be laying them very soon. So we are ramping up to the breeding season. There are a few eggs and a few chicks out in the colony at the moment. Some really keen early birds, as we might say. But yeah, we haven't had peak laying just yet. It's going to wait. The penguins will wait until it gets a little bit warmer and the ocean temperatures change, and it's a bit of a signal for them to start breeding and to start laying their eggs and raising their young, which will be really exciting. And hopefully we'll still be running these live streams and be able to view some brown little fluffy chicks when they're old enough to venture outside of their burrow. Have I missed anything else before we begin to sign off, Sue? Anything else you want to say?
I think that you've covered everything
tonight,
Jordan.
One thing I actually haven't covered is that, so I mentioned before, we do have a little wildlife hospital here at the Penguin Parade for any sick or injured penguins or other native wildlife, where we rehabilitate them and release them back into the wild. And this little penguin hospital is funded by the Penguin Foundation, which is a charity associated with Phillip Island Nature Parks. Oh, we've got a couple of shell gritters, some mummers to be heading down the highway. So if you would like to help us look after sick and injured penguins and other native species, you can donate to the Penguin Foundation just as a one-off donation, or you can adopt a penguin, you can adopt an eastern bar bandicoot, hooded plover. You can name, it's a symbolic adoption where you can name the animal that you've adopted, and that goes directly back into looking after and running our wildlife clinic. So thank you again to anybody who has donated in the past, and thank you to anyone who is considering donating. We really, really appreciate it, especially since we can't have any visitors here at the Penguin Parade at the moment. But fingers crossed, we will be able to have you back nice and soon. Alrighty, I'm just going to have, sorry, I know I'm dragging this out, Sue. I'm just going to have one little look out to the beach, just in case we're going to miss any. Oh, it looks like it's starting to rain at the moment. Oh, there's a few still kind of hanging out right at the water's edge. As it gets darker, it might be a little bit harder to focus in on them. All right, I am going to zoom in nice and closely to these guys on the rocks where there's some nice light and they're staying nice and still so we can get a good look at them. But yeah, thank you so much everyone for tuning in and getting involved in the drama and the intrigue of the live stream tonight. It's been a blast. It's been lots of fun. Remember to tune in Monday, Wednesday and Saturday to continue live Penguin TV. And of course, in natural live stream fashion, we are going to say goodbye in the language of the penguins, using the huck that they use out in the water to kind of gather themselves up. So Sue, come on in. We'll say goodbye in penguin language, and then join in again on Monday, and who knows, you might see a familiar face. Alrighty, nothing else I need to cover?
Nope, all good.
Beautiful.
All good.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Good night.